I've heard like of some terrible things that cult does, but one thing that shocked me is there was an organization helping people that were in cults and went bankrupt, and Scientology bought it, which means they got the database of all these people. Because what I have noticed myself, because I've seen people in a Christian organization, it was hurting people, and they have recruitment processes for bringing in these people when they see that there's something wrong, whether it's a marriage breakup or something, or they were abused. They know how to recruit them, and that's what they do. And then unfortunately, then you've got people, their kids just are automatically brought into this. They don't even know reality. And like, you're coming from hope, which I agree with you on the XM. And when I see people like Joe Rogan and others actually talking about this, exposing it, and even kind of mentioning like the tax advantages, why some of them set them up, they're still abusing kids and everything like that. But it's all about the money. I mean, show me a religion that doesn't talk about money, and you won't find many. Like, it's all about the ching ching.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, nothing new there. So people just need to make a choice. But as well, I think the way I see it, and that's why I focus a lot on like arts and letters, culture, poetry. We can only learn so much about health from studying sickness. Grace is a nurse. I'm sure she knows all about that. We can only do so much to combat ugliness, if we're not actually dedicating ourselves to beauty. Beauty is not just the negation of ugliness. Truth is not just the negation of lies, right? They are their own journey and things that we have to sort of fully, that need to be incarnated. So I think part of getting people, like oftentimes people join cults because they're right. They're hurting, like you said. There's abuse. There's all sorts of terrible stories, right? Like the idea is we don't live in a perfect world, but there's a reason that it is the way it is, and it's worth contemplating. The Book of Job is one of like the famous ideas of, hey, like the world is full of chaos and tragedy. Why would it be this way? And there are good reasons that it is. But all that to say, so we need to get people excited about the real thing. That's the way I see it. And oftentimes the reason people are locked in their pessimistic or ugly ideas is because they don't really know that there's something better, right? It's maybe, sure, people told them, hey, you don't have to do drugs. You don't have to live as a drug addict. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. That doesn't mean much, right? If you've come from, traumatic or like dark places, because you don't really have trust. Nobody, your whole upbringing didn't really give you a reason to trust people. So why are you going to trust somebody who's saying actually there's something else, or there's a better way? That's a hard sell, and it's understandable. But all the more, that's why I think it's important that we have a conversation about like, how do we get to the real thing? How does Dante go from the inferno to paradise? There's a lot of things he has to do. There are a lot of rings of fire that he has to jump through. A lot of illusions that he has to shed and confront in people that, in others, in himself, other people, and their illusions remind him of his own. And it's a whole journey.